We're here at midday trade, and the major U.S. stock averages have staged a turnaround. Earlier in the session, we saw red across the board, but we did get some economic data releases as well as earnings. And of course, we got that EIA inventory figure, and that did see crude futures reverse earlier weakness. Joining me now is Peter Costa of Empire Executions. Peter, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, we are seeing crude oil prices trade higher following the surprise drawdown in inventory figures, but we did get a batch of earnings and some better than expected economic data. Right. But what's the key takeaway?
Well, I think the oil thing, inventories to me is a key. And I think people, looked at that and said, all right, that's not a bad, it's not too bad. And I think we're going to be watching that, and also the OPEC meeting next month, which might have a big impact on oil prices going forward. So that's one of the things we're going to watch. Earnings have been, I think they've been a little bit better than people have expected, but it's been such a low bar for most of these companies to even reach. And, there's still a little bit more coming. I've been keeping an eye on the financials. I think that's where I want to put my money.
Peter, heading into next month, we have plenty of event risk. Of course, we have the elections, and as you mentioned, the OPEC meeting at the end of next month. But given that there's some skepticism from investors regarding those event risks, as well as the Fed rate decision, how should they position themselves?
Well, it's a tough one. I think that with the polls, if you believe the polls, you're looking at more than likely a Clinton victory. And I think, not that it's going to be a negative, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a positive. I do think that if Trump ends up getting in, that could be a huge negative. So, it's a kind of like a mixed bag on the election front. And I don't think you're going to see the Fed do anything going into December. And I think December might even be a little bit iffy. They're just not getting the data that they need to make that decision to raise rates. So to me, I don't think I'd take on any major positions right now. I think I'd kind of keep everything light. I wouldn't get out of everything because I don't think you're going to see a major turnaround. It's kind of like stay the course. We've been in this Goldilocks market. You stay the course. If you like your positions, stick with them. Maybe lighten up on the ones you really don't, or the ones you've really had a really good appreciation and value. And, hunt around because there are opportunities. There's not as many as there were 6 months ago, but there are some places where maybe there might be some money to be made. And I think that might be, a couple of the smaller healthcare companies might be something you want to take a look at. But like I said, it's right now, you got to stay the course, maybe just move your positions around a little bit, try to, protect yourself a little. But I'm not really too worried about it.
Well, it's been a busy week for earnings this week, and we've been getting plenty of results out from tech companies. Have you changed your position on any sectors this week?
Well, other than getting a little bit, looking at the financials a little deeper, tech companies, I think, that's always a grab bag. Tech companies, when they start doing really well, it tends to be at the end of a cycle. So, they're doing well. Even though Apple really has not been knocking the ball, the cover off the ball, they made a lot of money, and that's a company that's still making a lot of money. And I think that they believe that at some point their sales are going to start increasing again because of the problems that Samsung's had. So that should help them, going forward in Asia and in the U.S. as well. We'll have to wait and see on that one because, maybe the market's saturated with iPhones. So, it's possible that even though they think they're going to sell more, they may not.
Well, Peter, we do need our technology, so we'll keep an eye on the rest of the sector. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.